What's going on, guys, and welcome to the latest episode of Snap Decisions. I am your host with the most, your Snap DJ, and we are in the final week of the Heralds of Galactus month, which is crazy. Oh, man. We judge these things week by week, right, with the game and everything like that, and the card releases week by week, but it just, I don't know, it just seems like it makes the year go faster, doesn't it? Like, I can't believe it's already going to be September. It's insane. I can remember being so hyped up about First Steps and Fantastic Four, and that's already been like 2 months. And it's just insane how quick the year goes. So we've got a lot to talk about on the show today. We are going to the synopsis looks like this. I have renamed some of this, actually. I'm calling it My Spin instead of DJ Spin because, like, why not refer to yourself in the first person? But My Spin is going to be, we're going to talk about high voltage. We're going to talk about Mercury Cannonball. And we're going to talk about the September Android season. We're going to rank some cards. So we're going to get into all that in the spin. We're going to talk about my week in review. We're going to talk about where my rank stands today on ladder, decks that I've played, and variants that I have obtained. We're going to do, we do have a couple of questions, and I did put out a post on X asking a question this week, which I got some interesting responses, so we're going to go over that. We also have the Comics Corner as usual, and it is Cosmic Ghost Rider, one of my favorite recent comics. I really enjoyed it. And I mean, Galactus is in it, so of course I enjoyed it. And that's primarily the reason why I read it. But then when I found out he was Frank Castle, you guys should really check this book out because there are some like laugh out loud moments from this comic. There is another storyline where he literally goes back in time to try to stop Thanos from getting the stones, and what he ends up doing is he grabs him when he's a little baby, and the whole thing was he was going to go and he was going to off the baby. So like he was literally going to go and kill baby Thanos, but then he gets attached to the baby, and it's the stories are tremendous. So again, if you have the Marvel Unlimited app or if you go to a comic book store, you really should read it. It is hilarious. And of course, it is Frank Castle. He is the Punisher. He's Cosmic Ghost Rider. So just great storyline. So I'm looking forward to it. I did see some gameplay with this card, and it looks like it could be pretty good. I wasn't too sure about it because of the stat line, the 5/7, but when I first saw it, I'm like, I don't know. It seems like it could be pretty powerful. It could be an Invisible Woman stopper because so many people will play her out early in those end of turn decks, and so she's always going to be in the top of the lane, and now you can't with this card because it just wipe it out and it just kills their last part of the game. So he's definitely good for that. He's good against like these ongoing decks that are out there now that are playing down all the ongoing cards that you can smack from the top lane. So I don't know. This card might be a sleeper. The only bad part about it is, and I kind of hope that down the road they nerf this a little bit, but not nerf it, but reduce the cost. I think he'd be perfect as a 4/7. Maybe even a little overpowered. A lot of people are comparing him to Cannonball. Because a lot of, Glazer's video today when he was going over the card was talking about how, shout out to Glazer, by the way, happy birthday to Glazer, one of my favorite people in Marvel Snap. But, it is kind of similar. When Cannonball first came out, not a lot of people caught on to that right away. And now it's like the biggest combo in Marvel Snap. So I don't know. I think this card may be pretty good. So we're going to talk about him in Comics Corner today. Then we're going to go into the MCU Minute like we do. A lot of juicy news from the MCU coming out. There was even some stuff from Vin Diesel today that I'll talk about in the news segment. That was very interesting because now that Doomsday has been filming a little bit, Spider-Man is filming. Now they could kind of start making plans about what comes after Secret Wars. So the Vin Diesel thing is something that could be, and it's very interesting. So we'll talk about that in the MCU minute, and then of course, Dazzlers Lyric Challenge will finish up the show, and of course, last week, it was guessed. And now, yeah, see, I got to start capturing screens of the people who actually guessed this, but it was guessed. I'm going to have to give them credit on my next pod, but it was guessed, and it was A Love Is on the Way by Saigon Kick. So, and someone did indeed guess it. I have to give them credit on the next one, though. But yeah, it was Love Is on the Way by Saigon Kick. And that was the song where I had told you all that I think it's, I think the song very much fits it very much fits the Superman Death of Superman comic, which I really don't know why that's true, but it definitely, I don't know, for me it definitely did do that, and it connected to that, so I don't know. It's kind of crazy, but it just fits. It fits that storyline. Okay, sorry, I touched my button on my TV remote. But it fits the storyline. For whatever reason, it just works out as almost like a soundtrack song for that comic. But yeah, it's a good song. Very, very popular ballad when that came out. I really never listened much to the band. I was a fan of the song, and then I went and I listened. I think I downloaded the album on iTunes and I was listening to it, and the first song or two didn't really catch me. It didn't really grab me, but I do know there's a lot of people that are fans of them, and so I might have to revisit that at some point someday. But it was guessed, and I will award the no prize to the person who guessed it, obviously too. Okay. Let me go back to my, so that's the agenda, essentially for today. I'm not going to do, now obviously we had Fire Lord and we had Airwalker both released. I'm going to have to put them in another show because it would take a bit too long, for me to get all this in today, especially if I'm going to preview next season's cards, which I kind of have to do because it already starts next week. So yeah. All right. So in the spin just a couple of announcements. One, I had all intentions of starting the YouTube stuff back up again this week. As it turns out, my guest couldn't make it anyway. So it ended up working out in the way I guess that it should have. But my friend Jeff, who does the marketing stuff, Empowered, by the way, on Facebook, check him out. And is helping me to kind of redesign my pod a little bit, and is going to help me with my YouTube setup. So I figured I may as well just, he's busy. He's got his son starting up football and everything like that for the season. And so, and that all that said too, I just had a lot to do yesterday, and I just my daughter moved back into college and things like that. So I just couldn't make the time yesterday. So next Monday for sure. Or actually, no. I think we're going to do it next Tuesday. Nerf Herder, who had been on my show before, will join me. And then, of course, I have other guests coming up. Kier Nimbus, I have No Lux Given as well, who I'm going to have on the pod. So I'm going to keep those going. Going to try to keep talking to people, try to keep getting more and more guests on, and going to get that YouTube going. Once a week, I'm going to have a guest come on and chat with me about Marvel Snap, of course, we'll talk about, but other things too. We'll talk about pop culture. We'll talk about Marvel stuff. We'll talk about movies and comics and all that good stuff. So make sure you check out my YouTube channel. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. It's under Snap Decisions on YouTube. And I will be starting that back up next week. Now, the next announcement. Now, this one is a quite far into the future announcement, but I have decided, and what brought this about was an announcement about a new horror game, Halloween, which, listen, I can't be I know I'm a huge Friday the 13th and Jason fan, but Halloween was the OG, and that was kind of the one that started it off all for me, where I got to become a big slasher film fan from seeing John Carpenter's 1978 film, and it is high up there on my list. Probably one of my all-time favorites. I would say it might be in my top 5. And I know some people say it's overrated, stuff like that, but it is. To me, it's one of the best horror movies I've ever seen. It got me interested in a whole new brand of horror films, and I still, to this day, I still love it. I watch it every Halloween. And I'll even watch it at other times when I see that it's on. But they announced a new game. Ilphonic and Gun Media. Now, Gun is the company that did Friday the 13th, which I loved. I absolutely loved the game. People are kind of skeptical, though, because Gun Media has now canceled Friday the 13th. Well, that one wasn't their fault. I mean, that was a lawsuit that caused that to happen. They really had no choice. But they also early kind of canceled the Texas Chainsaw game, which a lot of people liked. I didn't enjoy that one. I tried it, wasn't a fan. But anyway, so they are making a Halloween game. It's going to be a 1v4 asymmetrical game, but also has a first-person mode that you can play as Michael Myers, which I think is pretty awesome because that's 1v4 games are fun, but they could kind of get a little boring and so to have a single-player mode, I think is smart. But what I am going to do, and the reason I'm talking about that is because I had always kind of wanted to stream games online. Now, unfortunately, you've got to have a pretty good computer setup to do it, especially if you're gonna, if you're gonna do that if you're gonna broadcast to YouTube or Twitch or Twitter or whatever. You have to have a pretty good setup on your computer to be able to do it. However, you can also do it right from the PlayStation 5. And I do have a PS5. My computer just can't handle it because of the stuff that needs to be done. My computer's not a gaming computer. It's rather old now. It's like probably 6-7 years old, and it doesn't have, it's not meant for that. But because I know that I can do it on the PS5, I can just get a camera for the PS5 and do it there. I am going to start, when this game comes out, I'm going to start streaming it. And so I'm not sure exactly when that'll be, how that will fit in, but I am going to start game streaming. So if you are a gamer and you're into horror stuff, just keep it in mind. Sometime next year, whenever the game comes out. Now, they didn't announce a release date yet. We just got the first announcement for it. I'm thinking that maybe closer to Halloween, we might get a little more. They are putting out content almost daily, that they're showing screenshots, and they're giving more details and more details. So I don't think it'll be that long, but I'm still thinking sometime next year, maybe even closer to Halloween next year. It could be that late in the season. I'm hoping not, but we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to try my hand at it because I think that would be fun. And so, again, if any of you are gamers, if they had Snap on the PlayStation, I would obviously do that. But unfortunately, they don't. It's only available for mobile and only available for the computer. So I kind of doubt it'll ever come to consoles. But if it did someday down the line, then that could be a possibility as well. But yeah, I always kind of I watch a lot of game streamers, obviously for Snap. Regis, Dexter, Binks are the regular ones I watch quite often. So and it just seems like fun. You get to interact with your audience while you're playing the game and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be fun to do. So I am going to I'm gonna do that. And I know there probably aren't as many people that are my age maybe out there that do it. So maybe a little bit of a different perspective from an older dude who still enjoys his video games. So yeah, just a little quick announcement about that. Obviously, that's going to be down the line, but just something to keep in mind if you do enjoy the pod. I'm going to plan on doing that sometime. Now, I don't think it's going to be a lot, I know there's game streamers out there that do it for a living. I certainly don't think that'll happen. But I, you know, and I'm not going to plan on doing it every day. You know, maybe a couple times a week or something like that. But it does seem like fun. So, all right, let's get into it, shall we? The My Spin section of the pod. So let's start off with high voltage. I put out a comment, and boy, oh boy, I love X. It is a form of major entertainment for me now. It really is. I put things out on there that just end up being almost like a tease, kind of a thing. And I think I almost do it just because I can't wait for the responses and just to see what kind of responses I get. And basically what I said was, the post got deleted. I didn't mean to, but I literally had to block like 5 or 6 users on Twitter earlier because of the comments they made in response to this post. And basically what it was I just said something like, so are we enjoying high, and I did like a play on words. I said, are we enjoying high Panther Zola voltage? I think I said, are we enjoying high tribunal Zola voltage? I think I said it that way. And then I said, and what's with all the emote spammers? Like, I have not seen people spam emote. Now, and I get it in some games on the ladder, but I have not seen people spam emote like I have seen in this round of high voltage. Like, what is up with that? Like, seriously, what is up with that? You're gonna spam somebody, emote spam, because you won a game of high voltage with Black Panther Zola, which is like the easiest no-brainer deck to play in this game? Like, seriously? What is going on with that? Like, what everybody just do? Decide that they're going to just take out all their frustrations on everybody else because of the game being, like, pissing them off? So you're thinking, like, I'm just going to go into high voltage and I'm going to emote spam the crap out of you. Yeah. Like, who thinks like that? Like, what is the deal? And then I think I asked, I'm like, what is with the tryhards? I playing, look, I could even see emote spamming someone when you beat them on ladder in an actual game. But in a mode like high voltage where it's a race to see who gets their Zola out first or their Black Panther out first, I mean, come on, really? So I even put a question out and I said, what's with the tryhards that are emote spamming constantly? Well, I must have triggered a nerve because I had so many people saying, you just don't understand. Oh, you're just out of touch. Oh, you're just, it was like, it was the funniest thing in the world. I got a kick out of it, and then I blocked all of the idiots. So, it kind of helps me in a bunch of ways because it just allows me to block morons on Twitter that I really wouldn't have wanted to interact with anyway. But I know I know I set off a nerve, and people got mad and pissy because I called them out. Right? They think it's some kind of big secret that they're doing. Oh, nobody's gonna know it's me because I'm using a username. I'm hiding behind the username, right? So yeah, I just got a kick out of that. I thought that was hilarious, and then I wrote a response post and said I think I upset the emote spammers, and with the minions laughing below it. I love triggering people on X. I got into that from the wrestling pod. It's kind of the same thing over there with all the tribalism going on in professional wrestling now. And I love triggering those people, and getting them to show their true selves, for what they really are. And, so thank you, if you listen to my pod, to all of those who responded to that, with nasty remarks or comments and all that kind of stuff. You made my day. It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. But anyway, so there's the high, but what I wanted to talk about with this was, now look, they changed the ban list, and I had been calling for months to ban Shang-Chi, right? I was the one who said it so many times about high voltage that they should ban Shang-Chi. Well, they did. They also banned Cosmo and Armor. So I guess everybody kind of just saw it coming, right? You're going to know that everybody's going to play Black Panther Zola because now you can, because no one could stop it. But they're also playing Tribunal decks and stuff like that. But here's the thing. It's a mode to get a card. So, of course, people are going to play it sweaty, right? Because anytime you have a mode like that, like Deadpool's Diner, when it was all the way back to the first one with Cassandra Nova, it was sweaty, right? It's for a card, which I didn't even think was that good. Airwalker, right? It's a Series 4 card, but it's still going to make people sweaty because they got to get it. They got to get, I got to get a card. I got to get a card, regardless of whether the card is going to be good or not. And so, but the one thing I want to mention about this is these are modes that are differentiated from ladder. Ladder should indeed be probably the most sweaty mode in the game because you're playing for a rank. You're playing to try to get a gold card back at level 100. You know, that should be the sweatiest mode in the game. When you start to make these like little modes, including Conquest, by the way, when you start to make those sweaty, you might just need to take a little quick look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, are you really playing this game to have fun? Or are you playing this game almost like a chore where you get up out of bed every morning and you're like, oh, I got to play this game because I got to get this card. And you're almost even like angry at it. You're not even really enjoying it. It's like a task that you have to complete in your life. And all I'm going to say to you is, if that's the case, I would separate myself from it as quick as I possibly could. Because you're not going to get enjoyment out of it. You're not. Because it's just going to go on to the next thing. And it's just going to keep repeating itself over and over and over again. So do yourself a favor. If these modes that they're coming out with end up being a thing where like you're anxious, you're nervous, you're mad, you're upset, you're sweating over these modes, like it's like, dude, you know, if you feel, you know, like I said, my God, you're emote spamming someone after beating someone with two Black Panthers on a lane. Good Lord, dude, like in a mode that it doesn't even matter if you win. It doesn't. You get so little points for winning the game in that mode, in high voltage, it doesn't even matter. All you want to do is complete missions. So who in the hell cares if you win or not? Like, oh my gosh, I just don't. Yeah, I don't know. It just strikes me as like just a weird and strange and odd thing. But anyway, getting back to it. So now people are actually clamoring to have Shang-Chi back, which is crazy. But they said they're experimenting with the ban list and all this kind of stuff. I saw the answer to it on Discord. But look, I mean, the only thing I would say, because it is a mode where you don't have to win, I would mess around with deck ideas. This is a place where, because I'll tell you, and I know this from experience, I used to go into Conquest and use that as my practice mode. The one that gets you the silver ticket. You can't even play that anymore without people playing meta decks. They're in there playing Mr. Negative. They're in there playing Deadpool Destroy with all gold borders. They're in that, like, what are we doing? We're making things that are supposed to be, my God, practice mode. We're making them sweaty, and it's silly. It's just silly, right? Like, so I mean, I don't know. It's like it's kind of how these limited time game modes get ruined in a way. But you know, now I get it. You know, they're changing up the cards and things like that. I get it. But you know, and the other thing about the mode is too, again, and why I said this to you, that you should almost use this as like a practice thing. This gives you an opportunity to make something new and different. Like I did run into a couple of the decks that were using Fire Lord, the Fire Lord combo, which I saw Bing's playing today, so I'm sure that's going to be very prevalent now, because the minute people, and that's what I'm going to get into. But I saw some people playing with that combo and the one with Morgan Le Fay. But that's the kind of place where you should be using these kind of decks. Make a deck, try it out. Make a deck yourself. Try it out and just see if it works in modes like this, because it just really doesn't matter. So the other thing is, if you want to have more fun with this game, and trust me, this is coming from a player that has played CCGs since the early days of Magic in the 90s. If you want to really have fun with games like this, there is no more fun that you could have in a card game than making a deck that is truly an idea of yours. Now, I know it's not as easy in Snap because there's not as many cards. But you can just put a spin on it. Put one or two cards in from a deck that you've seen and just put your own little spin on it. And when you win, it just feels so much better. Because you're like, oh, yeah, I won with this deck, man. I made this. I thought this up myself. I haven't seen any decks out there that are like this, and I won with a deck like this. That's pretty cool. Don't just watch the creators and net deck. I get it. But see, when they're doing it, they're just kind of giving you ideas. I know when Glazer does his videos, he has substitute cards and things like that you could put in case you don't have all the high series, which a lot of these players don't. My God, yesterday I played a person that had an 800 collection level. And I'm almost 50,000. 800. I felt bad. Like, I literally felt bad. But, these are the places where you can mess around, try to have some fun making your deck all your own little cook, something that can make you just feel a little better about the game, like a little more fun spin on something, because you put in a couple extra cards that maybe weren't in that deck to begin with. And, net decking is okay, but don't just look at those now. And I know the creators are trying to help people out, so they're putting out the videos of the best decks to win in high voltage, or play this deck in high voltage, or play it. But I would tell you, take a template from them, and then maybe change up a card or two, and then just see what happens. Just see what happens, because again, there's nothing to lose. Especially in high voltage, there's nothing to lose. Now, Deadpool's Diner, you're going to lose spots on a ladder. So there's nothing to lose in high voltage, as long as you're completing the missions that they ask you to. So, yeah, man, just if you want to make this game more fun for yourself, try up something a little different. I talk about being a part of the Snap Judgments League of podcasts. Go listen sometime if you haven't already to Snap on this. They're always talking about new things they tried. Ben Roller trying out new decks that other people that he hasn't seen people play. He was playing one with Heimdall in it that wasn't used in a regular move deck, and it wasn't just the same. So take a cue from people like that. Go try something new out. Try something different out, and this is the kind of place to do that. Because there are no stakes. There are no stakes. So anyway, that's my little thing there. I just couldn't believe when I first got into the mode and how much of the, everybody playing the same exact deck, Black Panther Zola, or playing Mercury Cannonball. Are you kidding me? Mercury Cannonball. Everyone knows that deck right now is one of the top decks in the meta. It is because, to me, that combo is broken probably and should definitely be looked at. And I'm not the only one that has said it. Whether they look at Cannonball, whether they look at Mercury or both cards, it's just way too prevalent. And it's everybody's closer in the game. They're like in a baseball, on a baseball team. You got that guy that comes in that closes the game. Well, that's everybody's closer in Snap right now is Mercury Cannonball. So, but why would you play that in high voltage? Why? I don't know. I just, that's just my take on it. I really just don't get it. And I had Mercury Cannonball as notes here. I'll take a drink quick and I'll just transition into that. It's overpowered. It's at a point where it's obnoxious in the meta. And I hope it gets looked at in the next OTA. Because it's way too powerful. It's winning way too many games. I'm not sure how they would fix it. I know there's been some people, other creators that have thrown ideas around on how to do it. So maybe they'll look into it. I hope, because it is very boring. The Mercury Cannonball Fenris Wolf combo. It's just very boring. You just know that if they put the Mercury out, you know it's coming. They get the Fenris out, they're going to steal your card, and they're probably going to win the game with that combo. So it's just very boring. It went from the whole Invisible Woman last turn stuff, and now it's to the Mercury Cannonball last turn stuff. So that definitely, I think, in my opinion, needs to be looked at. It's just way too strong, and it's making the game rather boring. A lot of people just don't like seeing these big, when Invisible Woman got to be what she was, then it became everywhere. Because again, and it leads back to my original thought, in high voltage is the net decking. Because everybody's going to see it and everybody's going to copy it. And then when you're playing, what you're going to see is you're going to see everyone playing this. Last night I was trying Sauron on the ladder a little bit. And almost every single match I played had the Mercury Cannonball Fenris combo, and they would blow up one of my big guys with the cannonball. They would Fenris it to the other lane, and all they have to do is just make sure that they win the other lane that Fenris isn't in. That's all they have to do. And they grab your big card, in my instance, because, of course, I'm playing with mostly big cards. So they grab your big card, Fenris wins that lane, and then they just have to win one more lane. And they're probably going to win the cannonball lane, more than likely. So it's an easy deck to play, just like Invisible Woman was an easy deck to play. People like easy decks. And there's nothing wrong with that. It makes the game a little bit less hard to think about. But I do think that needs to be looked at. So, all right, we're going to move into the September season, and we'll finish off the My Spin segment. I've always liked September. September is, of course, my birthday month. I was a September baby. I am a Libra. Born at the end of... Sorry, my nose is getting stuffy all of a sudden. And allergies are kicking in, man. They're kicking in. I'm very allergic to goldenrod. And I know goldenrod comes out this time of year. And the pollen's pretty rough so far for late in August. So, all right. So I'm not exactly sure what they're calling this. Viv Vision in Machines is what it says on Snap Zone. So, Marvel's Snaps 40th season. This is from Snap Zone. Features 40 seasons. Features Viv Vision, who has been in Datamine since the beginning of the game. That's true. And the Machines. Check out all the latest data details in our season hub and use the table of contents. So that's a little note there from Snap Zone. Season starts September 2nd at 7 p.m. UTC, which is next week. The season pass has Viv Vision, of course, and you'll get a Vision variant, and of course a Viv Vision variant. Sparky is in this too. Nimrod. So Sparky might be the premium season pass card. And then you have Nimrod, and then you have card backs of Nimrod and Viv Vision. So, Super Premium, yeah. So, Super Premium gets Sparky's base card. All right, so let's take a look at these, and we'll try to rank them. So, we're getting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We're getting 10 cards again this month. Wow, dude. It's crazy. It's too much for me to talk about in Comics Corner. Okay. So Viv Vision is a 3/3. At the start of each turn, give all cards in your hand +1 power if you're winning here. Otherwise, move this to another location. Now, I'm not sure if that's an auto move. That was what was confusing me, but I don't think so. I think you could probably it's saying move this, so you can move it yourself. So she's like regular Vision, where she can move from place to place. If she's not giving your cards the bonus, you can move her to a lane where you are winning, and then you will give it the bonus. So I don't know. It seems like it's pretty easy to work, and you could move it. So I guess that's kind of cool. And then Sparky is a 2/1 green dog eating a sandwich. Activate. Give your card that last moved +3 power and move it back to its previous location. So I guess in a way he kind of works with Viv a little bit. He would make her a 3/6 when she moved. So if you're not winning that lane with her, can move her. If Sparky's on the board, activate, she'd be a 3/6. And then you can move her back. So we're, kind of sensing a little bit of a move theme so far. Moirax, I'm sorry, why do we keep calling her that? Moira X. Good Lord. I can tell I was never a big X-Men reader. She's a 1/2. When this is destroyed, get a copy of your opening hand. All these new destroy pieces, boy. I almost went back. And I may still have to. With all this stuff going on now with Firelord and all that stuff I told you about earlier, and people reviving cards and people getting, destroying the cards and then reviving the cards, I may have to start playing with Armor and Cosmo, because with this card too now, this is going to fit right in that deck type, because you're going to get a copy of they're also, Binks was playing with Venom in his deck, Phoenix Force, so all these kill and revive strategies are coming in now, which kind of started with Dormammu a little bit, but all these kill and revive, and you're going to get all the cards back in your opening hand, so she will fit right into those deck types. He was using Cassandra Nova to make a real big Cassandra Nova. So yeah, she's going to fit right in with those. We have Bastion, who you know from the X-Men series. He's the head of the Sentinels. He was in the X-Men 97 animated series. Bastion is a 4/3. On reveal, add copies of your other cards here to your hand. Set their cost to 2 and power to 3. So it's like a Sentinel. Add copies of your other cards here. Yeah, so these are all going to work in conjunction with those types of decks. So those decks are going to get very, very popular if they're not already. Because these two cards are going to fit very well in with both of those decks. We're getting Awesome Andy, who's a 2/1. I always liked Awesome Andy. He's hilarious. A big cement block head, and he has a little board that says hello because he can't talk, because he has no mouth or eyes. He is a 2/1. Activate. Give one of your cards at each other location +2 power. It's not bad for a 2/1, I guess. Although, would you rather play him or Surge, right? So, I don't know. +2 power to, I don't know. We'll see. He's probably like a Series 4 card, I'm guessing. Jim Hammond, Human Torch. So the OG, original Human Torch, the Android Human Torch. He is a 1/2. At the start of each turn, +1 power for each bonus energy you have. Now that's going to fit with the card that we, obviously Wiccan. but it's also going to, as always, my podcast will entertain you with the background music that my next door neighbors get. So there you go. Got a little music. For each bonus energy. So Wiccan. What's the card we just got? Oh, geez. The Fallen one. If you're using that one to give yourself extra energy. He's going to get +1 power for each bonus energy you have. So that can grow really quickly. If you're playing Wiccan, you're going to get bonus energy every turn. He can get up pretty high. This card might be a little cracked. Because it does seem like it's going to be +1 power for each bonus energy you have. That's a lot. This card can get really, really big. So he might be a really good one. Next up is Warlock. He's a 3/3. Activate for each unspent energy. So now you're going to unspent energy. Give a card in your hand -1 cost. So again, it's, unspent energy. You have Jim Hammond now that's going to work well with Warlock in a Wiccan deck. Or in a deck with the Fallen one. So you can see where these cards are going. The Super Adaptoid. On reveal, steal the text from an enemy activate card here. So you were getting a lot of activate cards in this set as well. Most of them are, in fact. So Super Adaptoid is going to steal text like Cosmic Ghost Rider, but he wipes out their text. This one steals it, so he's going to take the text from an enemy activate card. Kind of cool. 3/5. Good stat line on him, too. Next up is Danger. Danger is a 4/6. Also activate. Destroy an enemy card here with less power. So you can activate her less power, so it'd be a 5 or less. So this is kind of a Shang-Chi for lower cards, is what I'm seeing, with a little bit better stat line. So it's kind of a Shang-Chi for low cards. And then last but not least, we have Jocasta. Jocasta is a 3/4. Immediately activate your other cards here without using up their activate abilities. So she fits in with all of the other ones that activate, including other cards that we may have had already that have the activate ability. She's going to immediately activate them all. So she's kind of like the Invisible Woman of this set. So, okay. So let's, so we have 2, 4, 6, 8. We have 10 cards again. Let's go quickly and rank them all. I'll tell you, just because I think this card is close to being broken if it releases this way, I'm going to go Jim Hammond, Human Torch #1. I just think it's going to be way, way too easy to stick him in a Wiccan deck and to ramp out that Wiccan, and you're going to be able to grow him for like turn 4, turn 5, turn 6 if he's been out on the board. And you might have a lot of he could easily get to a 1/5, 1/9 or 1/10. Yeah, he's going to be pretty good. I think I'm going to make him my #1. #2, I'm going to go with Moirax. Geez, stop saying Moira. Oh my God. Moira. Moira X. Good Lord, Moirax. I don't know why I'm thinking Ajax when I look at it or something like that. I don't know. Moira X. I'm going to go with her as my #2. When this gets destroyed, get a copy of your opening hand. This will be very good. And like I said, those new decks that people are playing, where they're reviving all their cards, it's also going to be very good in just regular destroy, I think, too. When you destroy, that's a pretty powerful thing. Let's say you had Null and Death in your opening hand. Now you're going to have 2. Pretty powerful card at a 1/2. So I'm going with Moira X as my #2. #3, I'm going to go with Viv Vision, the Season Pass. She's got pretty good ability. Her stat line's not great, but she is going to get +1 power if you're winning the lane. So that should be pretty simple to do. And if you play it in combination with the premium pass card with Sparky, you can always move her back and just keep doing that. Just keep moving her back and forth where you could definitely win the lane so she could keep gaining power. So yeah, I think she's going to be a pretty good card. Number 4, I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with the Warlock at number 4. Again, not a great stat line, but activate for each unspent energy. Give a card in your hand -1 cost. So again, if you're playing that deck like the Wiccan deck and stuff like that, if you're playing the deck where you're going to get more energy anyway, sometimes you can't always spend it. So now, if you don't spend it, you're going to get a card lower cost, -1 cost for each energy you don't spend. So let's say you don't spend 2 energy, you're going to get a 6 cost card for 4. So I don't know. I think that's a pretty good card. Number 5, I'm going to go with Jocasta at number 5, especially for this season with all these activate cards and all the other activate cards that we now have with the Fantastic Four stuff, with with the cards that we had before. Like Scarlet Spider and all those. But I obviously she's a catalyst for that. And she's just going to immediately activate them, and you're not even using up their activates. So that's pretty good. You may even see a revival of the last turn deck when she comes out. Because you might see that Invisible Woman stuff come back. Because now she's going to activate them without them using their activate ability, so technically you can now do it twice. You can have her out, you can activate Invisible Woman, you could do it on turn 5, and then you can activate Invisible Woman's own ability on turn 6. Imagine that in that deck. That's kind of crazy. Next up, I'm going to go with Super Adaptoid. Steal the text from an enemy activate card here, I think is going to be very, very important, especially in this season with all the activate cards. And you're going to be able to steal the text from one of your enemy's activate cards. So with all these people playing activate cards, I think it's going to be pretty good. Next, I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Bastion next. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to go with Danger. I like the design of having a small Shang-Chi. Again, same cost. Yeah, you're not blowing up a big card, but in this case, you're blowing up a small card, which can be pretty important. Again, imagine, go back to the Invisible Woman example. Imagine they have an Invisible Woman out on the board. You play Danger. You can activate it and blow the Invisible Woman up because it's a 5-cost card. So it's just other ways to get rid of small pesky cards. And so I think this is I think it's pretty decent. Next, I'll go with Bastion here. I don't like his stat line for what he does. Add copies of your other cards here to your hand. Set their cost to 2 and power to 3. I mean, I guess it depends on what you put in your hand from there when he does the on reveal, because you can get things out a lot quicker, but he's also going to lower their power as well. Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of a little bit wonky, I think. Kind of a little bit of a wonky card. And then I'm going to go with... And maybe Sparky shouldn't be this low, but I think I'm going to pick it here because it just seems kind of a little bit boring. And the stat line isn't great. 2-1, again, activate, give your card that last moved, +3 power, and move it back to the previous location. I mean, I'm not a move player. So if people are going to use this in just a general move deck, they might really like it. But for me, I'm not a move player. I don't like move at all. So I never have. So I would really have no reason to play it. Now, I mean, you could see some combos with this for sure, with regular move cards. Human Torch, Vulture. You could even look at it with Red Wing as a card, because you're going to be able to move it back and forth. So I could see it, but for me, it's going to go next to last. And then lastly, poor awesome Andy, a 2/1. And activate, give one of your cards at each other location +2 power. It's not a bad stat. He ends up being a +2/4. So he's going to be a 2/5, which isn't horrible, I guess. But his ability is kind of boring. So there you go. There's my card ranking for next month in the Android season. And so there is that. And let me know what you guys think about the Android season. Are you excited? I gotta say, I'm and probably because I'm coming off Galactus, right? But I'm not as excited about the Android stuff as I was about Galactus and Fantastic Four. And I am a little more excited about the October month with the zombie stuff, because I just think that's going to be cool. Just something different and fun. And now we're getting a Spider-Man season, what looks like in November. Could be a Spider-Verse season. I think I told you guys about this on the last pod when we were looking at the data mines of all those Spider cards. So obviously it looks like we're getting a Spider-Man season in November, which could be Into the Spider-Verse, because Prowler's in it. It seems like a lot of the characters from Into the Spider-Verse are in it. So that's going to be cool too. So I think this, out of the next couple seasons that we've seen cards for, is probably maybe going to be the most boring one, I think, of the next few that we're getting. So, okay, let's move on. And we're going to get to the Twitter question that I put out. And question is, because this stemmed off the high voltage discussion, if you can make a new mode for Marvel Snap, what would it be? So if you were a game designer and you had the ability to make a new mode for this game, what would it be? And give me some details about how it would play. Or maybe you'd just like to see a change to an existing mode. Tell me what it is. So here's the responses I got. G Poutlaw, Powtlaw. My idea, comic battle mode. I like this one. Pre-built theme decks that simulate a heroes versus villains scenario with custom card combo buffs like the Avengers versus X-Men event a few years ago. I love those. I thought they were one of the most fun things in this game. When they would have you play like the Avengers teams and the X-Men teams, I don't know why they haven't done more of that. That was just a lot of fun, and it made the game more fun, I think. I love this idea. I think this is a fantastic idea. And then he lists an example. Deck 1, X-Men deck with all X-Men in it versus X-Men enemies. Magneto, Juggernaut, Omega, Red, etc. I love it. I think it would be great. I think it would be a lot of fun. And just, again, something to get us away from just all of the normal stuff that we do in the game every day. So yeah, I love that one. I thought that was a great suggestion. I wrote back, oh, wow, that sounds like fun. I did enjoy when they had those before. Great idea. He writes back, cheers. Yeah, I definitely think Snap could lean more on the theme lore side of things and people would be into it. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I talk about themes and lore on the podcast every single week, and I would agree with that. I think that any Marvel game really should be into that. I think that any Marvel thing should get into the lore. I mean, that's what it's all about. So the next response I got was from reviews from the tub. Wanted me to explain draft mode. Had no clue how it works. And I basically just talked to him about the draft mode in Magic. Said, that sounds wild. So open 12 packs and pick a card 12 times, and that's your deck. Could be vicious. Yeah, and again, I had said before, this is why I don't think we're ever going to get it, because I just don't think it's going to work. I know they're trying to put more cards in, and maybe this is why, right? Maybe this is why they're incorporating so many more cards. Everybody was saying, and obviously people were, not me. I had said, give me more. I want more cards. Now, I don't want it monetized, but I want more cards. Because the more cards we get, the more we get closer to a draft mode, because you're just going to have more to choose from. If you don't get any more cards, you're not going to get a draft mode. It's just not going to be possible. Because if you try to, I don't know, maybe you're into discard and you're trying to get some of the discard cards. So you see a discard card come in, like, I'm going to grab that. I'm going to grab that blade. And then maybe next round you see Lady Sif. Oh, cool. I'm going to get it. But then the next 5 rounds, you don't get another single discard card. So now you're stuck with nothing. So, and in effect, you're hurting yourself. So that's why I'm saying, give us more cards. If that's why they're giving more cards out, like we just got a whole bunch, we're getting a whole bunch next month too, I'm all for that. Even if they're season 4 cards that aren't really great, at least they'll fit with the theme. And maybe that's why they're doing it, guys. I don't know. But it could be vicious, because if you go around, I've done a lot of drafts in Magic Arena. And if you go around and try to make up a particular type of deck, you're always going to have cards that don't fit it. So, in Magic, like I said, I would play a lot of black, and I would try to pick up black cards because I knew them the best. But there's going to come a time where you're going to have to roll around. You're going to have to make multiple color decks, or it's just not going to work. So that's how they're going to have to try to make that work. Neil Found Glory on Twitter says, a simple unranked mode would be great for me. I love when these LTM modes come and there's no stress to losing. I'm more likely to try new decks and strategies. Great. Yeah, I love the response. Look, and that's what I was saying. Like, with high voltage, who cares if you lose? That's the perfect place to do exactly what they're talking about here, and that is try new decks. Who cares? Right? Who cares if you lose? Look at what missions they're asking you to do. If they want you to play 5-cost cards, put 5-cost cards in your deck and make a new deck. Who cares what it is? So that's 100%. Brazil e-goblin mode, draft mode for yesterday. It's about time. Yeah, like I said, I hope that would be the case. And again, maybe that's what their intention is for more of the, of the cards that we're getting. Oh, by the way, that post is not gone. I thought the post was gone that I put up, but this is what I wrote. So how's everyone enjoying High Tribunal Zola Voltage? And what's with all the tryhards emote spamming? Do you do that on ladder also? Wow. And some people agreed with me, and a lot didn't. And those were the ones who most of them didn't even follow me on Twitter, so I couldn't care less if I blocked them. They came over just to gripe. But some people agreed with me. Baraku Flash. Exactly my feelings, LOL. I just need Airwalker, and now I think I can retire this HV. Since everyone just wants to play Black Panther and Tribunal. Like, do people not like having fun, trying new combinations out? 100%, dude. 100%, I agree. Totally agree. And that's exactly what I did. I got Airwalker and I stopped. I'm not playing for a premium mystery variant because chances are I'm not going to get a variant anyway. It's more than likely going to be an avatar, and I am not wasting any more time on that mode, seeing all the Tribunal and all the Black Panther and all that kind of stuff just to get an avatar. So, yep. My comic book collection. I am grinding missions in HV. I got Airwalker this morning. Not sure if I will keep going for the PMV. Yeah, I didn't. Taka says Stardust is shining for me. Yeah. Very smart to play Stardust in this mode because with everybody doing the Black Panther stuff and the Zola stuff, and so many people I found playing just Destroy, like just regular Destroy, the Stardust would completely screw them over. Completely. There was a player that was playing me with Stardust, I guess just didn't know the card, and he or she was playing a Destroy deck, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching and they have X-23 and Wolverine on the board. And I'm like, I have a Stardust on the board. They must never have seen the card or not known what the card did, because once they destroyed both of those, they both went away. And I was like, yep. So, you mean text slot voltage. This is Sergio Rovoletto. It's Negasonic, Rogue, and Red Guardian all day on HV, and I'm only at 4,000. 8,000 to go for a card. I added to that Juggernaut as well. The Penix, Penix Mightier. That's clever. The Penix Mightier. Nice. I'm just playing my 4, 5, and 6 cost cards to get my volts. I don't even care if I win. Most of the time, I just play Cersei and Arnim Zola to see the utter chaos. E says, makes me miss Enchantress and Shang to keep some of these decks in check. Right now, it just feels like whoever has the better card draw wins. Oracle Chick. It's been fine. I hop in, complete my 3 challenges, and hop out. I missed 2 challenges resets and just got the card tonight. So I guess I've won quite a bit. I may grind for the PMV, but it will just be a shitty avatar. Yep, me too. This is Appa. The Ultron Tech package is good against most of the field. Matematico Supremo. I'm playing ongoing with Stardust to counter Zola. Yazzie Venoms, VER. I am actually not seeing a lot of Zola. Panther, just weird shit that makes 0 sense. I want my Airwalker card for a new deck I want to try. Aqua says, really not missing Shang and Enchantress. Jermaine McBounds, I'm killing it with Zoo. It's so easy. NACLY, Salty. Oh, that's clever. I like that. That's really fun. I want pretty rewards. I run the BP Zola. G Money 31320 says yes because of these reactions. Yeah, the Ms. Marvel. Yeah. Yep. The Ms. Marvel. 100%. Solidest says, I'd rather play against Zola Tribunal than yet another game mode to fight Negasonic Mercury Cannonball. Well, you're not wrong. Yanu says, the tech slop annoys me. Bullseye QWERTY from Twitter says, I have a booster farming deck that I use, and none of the cards make sense with each other, and still opponents will emote like they are Napoleon pulling off a strategic coup. Yes, agreed. Is a joke thing says, I definitely have a positive win rate against both of them. They really aren't that bad. The Clip Man says, not seen a great deal of this, to be honest. Ran into the same player using Mr. Negative, which is just an auto win. Like many posters here, I'm completing missions and generally not fussed over the outcome. Playing a variety of decks of rarely used cards and showing off rare variants. That's cool. Sean Segur. In all for a new mode to distract me from rank, pushing me from 85 to 76. But I made my back, and now I'm at 95. Yeah, you're like me. I am exactly where you are, 95. But I hear you. That grind is on ladder is ugh. Yep. Signor Koala Viola. Enjoying. I just drop cards until I see 3 daily missions completed. Completely checked out. OG, the emoting is the sad part. I am just playing 5 drops to complete my mission. Why are you emoting like you did anything? Agreed. Fur Skywalker. I'm so happy that this wave ends today with Cosmic Ghost Rider. Adam Chinasami. I find it kind of boring, but maybe I'm a little burned out from the game as a whole. Gavin, G4VN. I only use Zola for 5 cost. Roy Cefabu, Negasonic Enjoyer, Gurier Symbiote. IMO, it's cool to see Tribunal again. It's been a long time since no one plays it. Even if it's limited time game mode, it's cool to see it. Noah says, played a guy today whose name was This Season Sucks while playing the most meta voltage deck. Bro, the season sucks because you're a slave to the meta. Try and have some fun. I love it. Zia, imagine being toxic in a game mode where everyone essentially wins LMAO loser behavior. Agreed. Dumpster Dogs got whooped by a creative Dakin deck, had like 400 power on multiple lanes, Magneto tech added. And last, Lucas Kilberg says it's losers getting a power trip for once in their lives. Oh, okay. Great. I love it. Thank you for all the responses. It's always fun when I do the Twitter stuff with the questions and stuff like that. I love the responses I get. Thank you all. I appreciate you. Okay. Next up, we are going to go to the corner, and we're going to talk about Frank Castle and Cosmic Ghost Rider. So let's wander over to the comics corner. I need a theme. My friend Jeff is going to work on a funny theme for me for the pod that I could use for my comics corner. All right, Cosmic Ghost Rider. We will get to him. Frank Castle. Francis Castle, actually. Earth TRN 666. I love that. The designation Earth TRN 666 utilized throughout this article is entirely unofficial, and it is employed by this wiki for internal purposes only until an official designation is provided by Marvel. Okay, so they just made that up. Well, pretty smart. I like that, actually. Sadists, psychos, and killers, don't matter what planet they're from, all deserve to be punished. The writer. Francis Frank Castle is the name. Affiliations and relationships: formerly married to Maria Castle, wife deceased. Children: Lisa Castle, daughter deceased. Frank Castle Jr., son deceased. Other relatives: Frido Castiglione, paternal uncle, deceased. Host of the Spirit of Vengeance. Marital status: widowed. Physical characteristics: he's male, blue eyes, no eyes at all. When he's in human form, his eyes are blue. When he is in demonic form, no eyes. Hair is gray-haired in human, no hair at all in demonic. Unusual features: appearance of a flaming skeleton while transformed. Origins: human bonded with the Spirit of Vengeance, and later augmented with the power cosmic by Galactus. Living status is alive. Reality: currently displaced to the Prime Marvel Universe. It's from Queens, New York City. Personal info: identity secret, citizenship American. Base of operations: Mephisto's realm, Hell. Creators: Donny Cates and Jeff Shaw. His first appearance: Thanos Volume 2, number 13, in November of 2017. So he is relatively new character. This Frank Castle's earlier life seemingly mirrors that of the Frank Castle of the Prime Marvel Universe. All right. First off, we got Thanos wins. During the Heroes of Earth's last stand against Thanos, the Punisher was hit in the head by debris of a building the Hulk was thrown into and died, his soul being subsequently sent to Hell. I guess that does make sense. Willing to give anything in order to punish Thanos for slaughtering his planet, the Punisher signed a demonic deal with Mephisto and became the latest Ghost Rider. When he returned to Earth, however, Thanos was already gone, and everything on the planet was dead. The Ghost Rider spent the next countless years alone, roaming endlessly and undying with no one to kill or love. Even after Mephisto fell silent to his calls, he began to lose his mind. When a badly injured Galactus arrived on Earth, seeking help against Thanos, unaware that the population of Earth had already been killed by him, the Ghost Rider offered the dead planet to him in exchange for the chance of punishing the Mad Titan as his herald, an offer that the Great Devourer accepted. Together, they roamed the cosmos on a quest to halt Thanos' systematic annihilation of every living being in existence, which led them to become legends. Their story lasted centuries, but came to an end once they finally confronted Thanos, who beheaded Galactus as he approached to battle. The Undying Rider was offered by Thanos the chance to see more evil than he could punish in 1,000 lifetimes, and thus become his servant. At the behest of King Thanos, the Rider used the Time Stone to drag a younger Thanos to the future, so he could help his older self in winning the love of death by killing the Fallen One, the one being who managed to elude him. Unbeknownst to the Rider, King Thanos didn't need his younger self to kill the Fallen One. He needed to kill himself in order to finally be by death's side. After the Fallen One used Mjolnir to smash the Rider to bits, the time-displaced Thanos realized his older self's true motivations and went on to prevent this future from ever happening. Here we go. Baby Thanos must die. Oh my God. Frank was retrieved from his dead timeline by Odin of an alternate reality and rewarded with Valhalla, but he didn't fit in with the rest of its inhabitants, seeing that Frank didn't want to be there. Odin returned his powers to him and offered to send him to any time and place he wanted. Frank chose to be sent back into the time to the day Thanos was born, so he could kill him before he grew up to become a monster. Upon using his penance stare on baby Thanos, Frank realized he wasn't evil and decided to take him under his wing instead as to change his future. Knowing Galactus was to devour Marcus Centauri, at that point in time, Frank traveled to the planet to try and convince the Devourer of Worlds into helping him, but he refused to do so after accessing Frank's memories. With the Watcher bearing witness, an angry Frank vowed to raise Thanos on his own, consequently creating a timeline where Thanos grew up to become something worse. The Guardians of the Galaxy of said timeline tried to change their future to the best by killing Thanos, but Frank and later on baby Thanos killed them all. They were subsequently greeted by Thanos' future self, who sported the same clothes Frank used as the Punisher. The future Thanos showed Frank the authoritarian world he had built on his example, including a past version of himself living with his wife Maria. Realizing the consequences of his intervention in his life, Frank killed the future Thanos and returned his baby self to the past, erasing the alternate timeline. Death appeared before Frank to confirm that his actions had nonetheless instilled the baby Thanos with the bloodlust that would make him her agent. Destroying history. By his own admission, Frank spent the following years on Earth interfering with the lives of its heroes until he tried to save his own family from their deaths. Uatu intervened, putting history on the right track and using his Infinity Gauntlet to make everyone, including Frank himself, forget his actions. He spent years imprisoned in the raft until he pieced his memories together and was freed through Uatu's indirect intervention. Frank also claimed that he later killed the Watcher during his fateful encounter with Nick Fury following the robbery of his citadel and one of his eyes. The final gauntlet. Sometime afterwards, Frank sensed Thanos' death at the hands of his daughter Gamora. Soon after discovering his beheaded corpse, he was approached by Eros, who had come to collect it, and his brother's will. He was present at the gathering held by Eros to show Thanos' will, which revealed that he had placed his consciousness into another living being before dying. That's kind of like Spock in Star Trek II. As those gathered discussed what to do with this new information, they were attacked by the Black Order and sucked into a black hole. Frank was rescued thanks to Beta Ray Bill and recruited into the Guardians of the Galaxy by Peter Quill. After clashing with Groot and Bill, he left the group and joined the Dark Guardians in their quest to hunt down Gamora as most likely host for Thanos' resurrection. They tracked her down using her former lover Nova and clashed with the Guardians of the Galaxy to take her. When they were ready to execute her, however, they were attacked by the Asgardian goddess Hela and the Black Order. Hela easily took down Frank using her power over dead beings, leaving him a flaming skeleton. Hela then revealed that Star Fox had been Thanos' chosen vessel all along. Thanos' consciousness asserted itself in Star Fox, and he left with Hela and the Order. Frank was also forced to come with Hela during the Guardians and the Dark Guardians' assault on Nowhere. To stop Thanos' resurrection, Hela was knocked off a platform, causing her control over Frank to weaken. Star-Lord attacked Frank, but Frank was in no shape to fight and told Star-Lord that without Hela's power, he could no longer hold himself together and eventually collapsed into a pile of bones. Frank was then transported into Hell, where he was greeted by its ruler, Johnny Blaze. Challenge of the Ghost Riders. Blaze later forced Frank to possess Avengers Mountain and attack the Avengers when they tried to exorcise Robbie Reyes. Revenge of the Cosmic Ghost Rider. Leaving the Earth behind, Frank traveled the cosmos to punish villains for their sins. This got him in trouble with the Shi'ar, and he ended up subdued by the Imperial Guard. Due to his crimes, Frank was sent to an alien prison located in an asteroid which was run by the Shi'ar. When some of the other prisoners began beating him up, he transformed into Cosmic Ghost Rider and started to kill them. This, however, freed a mysterious creature imprisoned there that drained the Rider of his power, leaving him nothing but a skull. Due to the danger the creature posed, one of the guards activated the prison self-destruct program, destroying the prison and seemingly the creature as well. Months later, some space pirates arrived and salvaged what remained of the prison and its prisoners, including the Rider's skull. Frank then awakened and killed every member of the crew in order to rebuild his own body until only Camille Benally was left. After destroying the entire ship, he used his penance stare on the girl but found out she was actually innocent. The duo fought various criminals throughout the universe, eventually coming into conflict with Cosmic King, who threw Cammy into a wormhole. Enraged, Cosmic Ghost Rider tried to destroy the Cosmic King to no avail, as he proved to be too powerful. Once the Rider was able to get the upper hand, the Cosmic King offered Frank's long-lost soul, which the King had stolen from Mephisto, back to him. Frank accepted the offer and then killed the Cosmic King. When Cammy arrived, having briefly traveled through time because of the wormhole, she revealed the Cosmic King was actually possessed by an ancient space demon parasite, which originally wanted Frank as its next host. It became the same creature Frank accidentally freed from the Shi'ar prison. The Mephisto from Frank's home reality arrived soon afterward, wanting to retrieve the soul he rightfully owned. Since Frank had already reclaimed his soul, he claimed Cammy's instead. Fighting his way through hell, Frank eventually returned to the Hotel Inferno and confronted the Mephisto of the Prime Marvel Universe. Mephisto refused to give Cammy's soul back, but offered a deal exchanging it for Frank's soul. He accepted, became the Cosmic Ghost Rider once more, this time in service to the Mephisto of the Prime Marvel Universe, and revived Cammy. Sadly, the ancient space demon parasite that had possessed the Cosmic King immediately seized Cammy and turned her into its next host. The demon then drained Frank's powers yet again, forcing him to drain the life force of various brood to rebuild himself months later so that he could begin his quest to free Cammy once more. Frank eventually found himself chasing some thieves into a black hole. As he fought them, they all ended up inside the black hole, causing him to be fractured into two Cosmic Ghost Riders. The newly created Cosmic Ghost Rider went on his separate way, while Frank had no recollection of what had happened. The ensuing month, Frank decided to leave the life of the Cosmic Ghost Rider behind and opted to work in a tavern on an alien planet owned by Marlowe and his daughter Axel. Unfortunately, he was attacked by bounty hunter Kral Dravit, who was after him. During the fight, Marlowe was killed, causing Frank to take out the bounty hunter and rescue Axel. While they were preparing to get away, Monarch Starstalker, another bounty hunter hired by the Shi'ar to hunt Frank, ambushed them and forced Frank to resume his identity of Cosmic Ghost Rider. He and Axel were able to escape, but felt that he needed to go to the fueling station X987. There he met with Valkyrie, who revealed to him the existence of a second Cosmic Ghost Rider, someone Frank had seen in his dreams was probably the cause of his powers draining. Realizing that the second Rider was a part of him, and if separated for too long it would lead to their inevitable death, Frank confronted him. As the second Rider embodied his malevolence, the two halves fought each other in space, but were both knocked out. Monarch decided to grab the second one while Frank was sucked into another black hole where other Cosmic Ghost Riders were formed. His powers, of course, the Spirit of Vengeance, Hellfire Manipulation, Superhuman Strength and Durability, the Penance Stare, Immortality, Meta Possession, Remote Possession, and Mystical Chain Projection. Like all other heralds, he had interstellar travel, energy projection, cosmic penance stare, and telekinesis. Weapon fabrication. Weaknesses are mental illness and necromancy. The Punisher suit is his equipment, and also Ghost Rider's chain. Cosmic Ghost Rider, this is some trivia for you, is based off of DC Comics' Lobo. That's cool. I actually never knew that. Ironically, Lobo himself was inspired by the Punisher. In the last issue of Cosmic Ghost Rider, Volume 1, when Frank asks Death if Thanos becoming her agent is inevitable, she confirms this and then implies through her comment, "And I choose many children, Francis Castle," and that Frank is also one of them. Well, so there you go. 47 appearances of Francis Castle, 2 in the handbooks, 2 minor appearances, a whole bunch. He was in Cosmic Ghost Rider Destroys Marvel History, Cosmic Ghost Rider, the Thanos book, Guardians of the Galaxy, Revenge of Cosmic Ghost Rider, Avengers, and so on. So, we're going to move over to the Marvel Unlimited app, and we're going to look him up, and we're going to check to see if the books are in here. I'm sure they are. And we will talk about my pull list for the week, and I'll tell you what I've read. So let's check it out. Cosmic Ghost Rider. Do you know there was a song back in the day called Ghost Riders in the Sky? Which was kind of cool. And I kind of always thought about it. I thought it was I used to think when I was a kid it was the Marvel one, but of course it wasn't. And I think, I don't know, is it Johnny Cash? One of those famous, I'm going to have to look that up. Of course it's, has nothing to do with the Marvel character, but I just thought it was fun. All right. Let's see. Cosmic Ghost Rider 2023. 2018. Revenge of the Cosmic Ghost Rider 2019 to 2020. Destroys Marvel History 2019. So there are a good amount of them. This is from 2023, issue number 3, issue number 4, issue number going to, yeah, they had 1, 2, 3, 4 there. This is from the first series, Cosmic Ghost Rider Destroys Marvel History. That's from 2019. The Robbie Reyes special. Nope, this is just regular Ghost Rider now. I thought they would bring up that the Thanos stuff, but I guess I think they were just in Thanos books now that I'm thinking about it. So it's not gonna bring those up, but I've read that. And I'm pretty sure, and I've read almost everything Thanos. So I'm pretty sure that was in the Thanos books. Let me see if I could find it. No, this just is going all the way back to regular Ghost Rider. Huh. Yeah, no, nothing in the app. But I bet you if I looked up Thanos, I bet you I would find it. But anyway, you can find the Cosmic Ghost Rider books in the Marvel app. Again, $9.99 a month. Best $9.99 you'll ever spend if you want access to all of the Marvel stuff. You can basically read about any of these characters that I've talked about on my show and all of the Marvel Snap cards and all that kind of stuff. So if you're into comics or you want to get into comics, it's a good place to start, especially if you don't have a comic book store near you. And if you do, what are you waiting for? Go visit it. Get yourself some books. It's always cool to have those pages in and you're turning those pages yourself rather than on an iPad like I'm pretty forced to do now. Which is fine, but, it's always cooler to have the books. All right. My books for this week, some I've read already. Ironically, the Fantastic Four facsimile edition of issue number 48, The Coming of Galactus, appeared. They will throw in those facsimile edition books. I love reading these because they have the old ads and stuff from the comics back then, which I love. I've taken pictures of some of those and shared them on my X account with you guys. But I'm in the middle of reading that one. But what we have Astonishing Miles Morales Spider-Man. That's issue number 4. Ultimates 2024 issue number 12. Iron Man is 2024 issue number 8. Looks like Black Widow's in that issue. We have Star Wars The High Republic. That's up to issue number 4. Thunderbolts Doomstrike. That's up to issue number 5. Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu is up to issue number 8. Fantastic Four, issue number 32. Very, very good story. Very, very good story. It's very cool. They were... I don't want to give too much of it away. All I will say is Franklin Richards is Galactus in this, but he's not like he was in the other books. He's literally got the mind of a child in Galactus's body. It's a really good story. It's really fun. The Superior Avengers, issue number 2. Spider-Man and Wolverine, issue number 1. The Thing has his own book, issue number 1, which is very good. I read it already. Vision and Scarlet Witch have their own book as well, issue number 1. He is White Vision in that. Doom Academy is up to issue number 4. Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man is up to issue number 4 in this newest reboot. I like it. It's got some different villains in it, hobgoblins in it. I really like the artwork. It's been really good so far. Spider-Man and Rhino were poisoned with this mixture of chemicals that Hobgoblin made and basically had it in soda. So whenever you're drinking this stuff, it gives you like these hallucinations and everything. It's a pretty cool story. Star Wars Legacy of Vader. I've been reading this. This is all about Kylo Ren and basically what happened between The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. Incredible Hulk, tremendous issue. This is the horror comic book I tell you guys about a lot. He has a big fight in this with Thor, trying to save the young girl that he's now with because she's basically possessed by a demon spirit that Thor fought way, way back in the day, many years ago. So this is a really good one, really good issue. Marvel Mutts, number 14. Spider-Man Friends and Enemies, issue number 4. And then we've got Hulk and Doctor Strange, issue number 1. So a lot of new stuff. And then these are all reprints. They were reprinting a lot of Darkhawk. So back from 1991, if you're a Darkhawk fan, they have all reprints of Darkhawk here. Issue 27, issue 28. They've got some 90s Spider-Man in here too. There's one with Speedball and Nova. Some other Nova books. Night Thrasher is also being reprinted as well here. And then Marvel Rivals Infinity Comics up to 16. Spider-Man Friends and Enemies, issue number 2. And then more Darkhawk and stuff. I have never read Darkhawk. In fact, it's funny. I've read a lot of comics throughout the years. I have never read Darkhawk. And if he was in anything I read, it was probably in a team up along the way. So I really didn't know the character very much until I started playing Snap. So there you go. That was a case where, I had to kind of read up on that in order to find out. All right, I forgot that I totally skipped a section. I skipped my week in review. So let's go back. We'll do that now. And then we'll get to the MCU minute and we'll close this sucker out for the week. So I'm going to open up Snap. Hope it doesn't crash as it usually does. You have to excuse my sinuses are playing haywire, being haywire with me right now. All right, so I am at rank 95. Rank 95, the highest I've been since January. It has to have been. I finished High Voltage. I got the card. So we're not going to dwell on that. I did get Cosmic Ghost Rider today. Let's first go to, there is a new album out. So if my iPad decides to let me, it's called Penciled Pan Perfection. And this one has the Pandart stuff. So there are very cool variants that they do, and I love their artwork. They're just all 1,200 gold. They have a new Death, a new Nico, a new Jeff, a new Carnage, a new Zabu, a new Quinjet, a new very cool Thanos holding his two-sided sword, which I may have to spring for, a new Red Hulk, a new Thena, a new Kitty, a new Shang-Chi. That looks very much like the Venomized one, though. And a new Venom. And then you get 3 premium mystery borders. The first 3 of the variants you get. And you get a Shang-Chi emote for the next 3. 4,000 credits. And then you at the end of it, you get the Arishem Pandart Studio variant card for that. So that's cool. I've never seen the Shang-Chi. I did finish Conquest, or as far as I'm going to go with it. I do have a couple Infinity tickets, but I got the Null card, the Null variant. So I did manage to pick that up. And what else? My alliances, as always, which is pretty much full. I'm short. I think we're still short. Let me see. Still short 1 guy. So if you want to be in a really cool alliance that gets the rewards like literally every single time, I am not lying when I say that, they get the rewards every single week. If you need an alliance, just come and join. Look me up. It's Snap DJs Casuals, SDC. Look us up and come join. Once again, we got all the rewards this week, as we do every single week. So my alliance is very, very cool. All right, we're going to look at decks and variants really quickly. Variants this week. Let's see, what did I get? Don't think I got much. There's the regular Fire Lord card. Oh, I got a Greg Land variant of Symbiote Spider-Man. That was a 700 gold variant. It's pretty cool. It has a big Mysterio behind him. There's like a big Mysterio in the back of him, overlooking the... looks like he's overlooking the city. This could have been a comic book cover maybe, with Mysterio in the back that you could kind of make out the eyes and stuff like that. And if you move the card when it's split, you could see it better. But it's cool. It looks very cool. It might have been when Spidey was wearing the black suit. During that point in time, he had a fight against Mysterio. So I like it. I did get a Scorn variant finally. I had not had one. This is the Pandart one. I got Havoc, Dan Hipp's Havoc variant. I got a Stardust variant, the Envar Studio one. And, of course, the Null variant that I told you I picked up. That was it. Kind of a light week in variants for me this week. All right, let's get to some decks. And first I'm going to go over a couple of Ghost Rider decks, Cosmic Ghost Rider decks that you could certainly try out if you want to. This one is from Glazer. You can find him on Snap Judgments every single day, giving ideas for decks. And also, of course, a part of our podcast network as well that he does, I think, on Fridays and Saturdays. But that could have changed now since he's moved overseas. But this is from his show today. This has Zabu Surge, Iron Patriot, Juggernaut, Gladiator, Shang-Chi, Shuri, Galactus, Stardust, Fallen One, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and Galactus First Steps. I tried this one. Fallen One, obviously you could use Shuri, that Fallen One. You're just going to be able to play mega amounts of cards on the last turn. And of course, this has like a lot of those combos in it that you see in other decks. You've got Shang-Chi for tech. You've got Juggernaut for tech. You got the Iron Patriot combo where you can just pull another card. And then Cosmic Ghost Rider will help you to wipe out one of those other lanes. This is also from Glazer. And there it is, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, the weekly iPad crash. Bum, bum. The iPad has crashed, ladies and gentlemen, like the Titanic did into an iceberg many, many, many years ago, although it didn't keep happening over and over again, thankfully. But yes, my iPad has crashed yet again. Because it just doesn't like Marvel Snap. I saw somebody in their Discord was asking them why their iPhone crashes all the time. And all they could give them as an answer was, well, we're pretty sure it's because of the amount of RAM that's in your device. Which I could see that possibly for my iPad because it's a little bit older. But if it's a newer iPhone, that's probably not a good thing. This one is from Glazer's Pod as well. Cosmic Agatha. This is the Agatha list, but Black Knight, Fenris Wolf, Redshift, Cosmo, Juggernaut, Moon Knight, Negasonic, Mobius M. Mobius, Lady Sif, Ghost Rider, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and Agatha Harkness. So you get the two Ghost Riders going. You can get the Black Knight thing if you discard Agatha, which is always a good play. Obviously, the Fenris Wolf thing going in here too, where you can just, destroy something with the Negasonic and pull something back with Fenris. So both of those are pretty cool. And then I also have a deck from Nina is Noob. I watch Nina quite a bit. Nina's very cool. She was on my podcast. And she did one with Wiccan. This is Quicksilver, Surge, Mercury, Fenris Wolf, Merlin. So you got the Mercury Cannonball combo. I mean, why not? Why not? Best deck in the game. Mercury, Fenris Wolf, Merlin, Negasonic, Mr. Fantastic First Steps, Luna Snow. This is very, very interesting because I heard this first on the Snapchat with Cozy and Alex. Very, very smart that Cozy mentioned play Luna Snow with Cosmic Ghost Rider. On the very next turn, or when you can, if you have Wiccan out, you can. But on turn 5, you play the Cosmic Ghost Rider. It's going to wipe the text out of the Ice Cube. They will not get to use the Ice Cube, and they're also clogged now in that lane from the Ice Cube as well. So that's pretty sick play. So Luna Snow, Gladiator, Wiccan, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and Cannonball. So she was having some success with it, as I would imagine. Again, it's one of the best decks in the game. So I'm really not surprised by that. You're probably going to see people will do that. So that's some 3 decks that you could try Cosmic Ghost Rider in. What else was I playing? This one I called Tech Crap. Because again, the cannonball combo is in this one. My double Galactus deck, and I call this one Double G Part 2. This one has Titania, Mercury, White Widow, Armor, Jennifer Kale, Green Goblin, Luna Snow, Hobgoblin, Cannonball, Galactus, Alioth, and Galactus First Steps. What else? Safety Blades, Flex Tape deck. This is just very good. Still very good. Spider-Ham, Hydra Bob, Black Cat, Dina, Havoc, Surge, Juggernaut, Mobius, Invisible Woman, First Steps, Fantastic Cars, Stardust, and The Thing, First Steps. And then I had the Sauron deck I played, just called Big Dudes. Zabu, Sauron, Zero, Surge, Surtur, Starbrand, Ares, Enchantress, Cull, Obsidian, Typhoid Mary, Red Skull, and Scar. So there you go. That is where I'm at for now, and I'll keep plugging away, and I'll keep trying to possibly get the... okay. So I got a... let's see what my rewards are. I didn't even open them yet, my Alliance rewards. Got 500 credits. Boom. Blue Neon Border. Boom. My stupid mystery variant was a Titania Avatar. Pfft. Crap. Mega crap. Colleen Wing boosters, Jennifer Kale boosters, Ares boosters, Hawkeye boosters, Airwalker boosters, Beast boosters, Black Swan boosters. A lot of boosters. And, of course, the free 200 credits from the shop. Okay. Bundles. Yeah. I'm not going to go over those. You guys can see what they are. I have the offer for the Cosmic Ghost Rider variant for $15. Stars, Stripes, and Steel. An Iron Patriot bundle, $100. Cable, Symbiotic Arsenal, that's an old one. Token Tuesday, garbage. And then in my shop with those Panda Arts, I have Carnage, Tina, Quinjet, Jeff, Death, Kitty Pryde, Red Hulk, Thanos. And that is that. All right, let's get over to the MCU Minute, shall we? And we'll do the MCU news, and then we'll get to the lyrics, and we will say goodbye for this particular week. So let's get to some MCU news. And we'll check out what is hitting the news. This one's from Screen Rant. Marvel already set up Galactus' next herald in the MCU. 6 years before the introduction in Fantastic Four First Steps, Marvel laid the foundation for the Devourer of Worlds' next herald. Took several attempts for Marvel to get the Fantastic Four right. Almost 2 decades after Galactus and the Silver Surfer's big screen debut, depicts their immense power accurately for the first time. Silver Surfer betrays Galactus in the Fantastic Four First Steps. Their fate is unknown afterward, and the Fantastic Four are set to join Earth's 616 Avengers. First Steps likely won't be the last time the Marvel's first family will cross paths with Galactus and Shalabal. Thanos' attack on Xandar sets up the introduction of the new MCU heroes. And they are talking about the Xandarians, of course. The iconic lone Nova Richard Rider is the logical choice to inherit the Nova Force after Xandar's fall. They're talking about Airwalker. Yes? Yeah, they are. Well, that fits the theme today. Gabriel Land was once a devoted officer of the Nova Corps before fate hurled him into Galactus' path. Obsessed with the wonders of cosmic exploration, Gabriel was an ideal candidate to succeed the Silver Surfer as Galactus' herald. When Galactus transformed Gabriel into Airwalker, Gabriel saw the opportunity as the ultimate voyage across the endless reaches of the universe. Unlike the Silver Surfer, Airwalker's transformation came with little or no sacrifice. Norrin Radd gave up his freedom, his love, and his life on Zen-La to save his world from Galactus' hunger, forever haunted by his servitude. On the other hand, Gabriel Land encountered Galactus in space by chance, and the power cosmic only fulfilled his yearning to explore. The MCU could easily reimagine Gabriel Land by tying his origin to Thanos' destruction of Xandar. As a Nova Corps officer, perhaps Gabriel was off-world during Thanos' attack, spared only by his thirst for exploration. Surviving such devastation could inspire the MCU's Gabriel Land to seek greater meaning out there in the universe. From there, Gabriel's transformation into a superhero could make him Xandar's last warrior. That's cool. I like that. So Airwalker could be a herald of Galactus somewhere down the road. So that's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. It's thinking out of the box. I like the out-of-box thinking by Screen Rant there, the writer who did that. Why MCU fans? This is from Yahoo. Think Brand New Day set photo could explain the return of OG Hulk. Fourth movie Brand New Day is filming. Super limited, but fans are hyped that upcoming Marvel film will feature John Barenthal's Punisher and Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. Set photo from Twitter teased that the Inner Demons are going to be included in the blockbuster, which could be a way for the original Hulk rather than Smart Hulk appearing. In the comics, the Inner Demons are typically henchmen for Mr. Negative. Oh, this is the... That's old news. Yeah, the Mr. Negative rumor has been around for a while, but a lot of people are already saying that's not the case. Disney drops doomsday bomb that resets MCU back to Avengers Endgame. For more than a decade, this is from Sarah Larson from the Disney Dining. The MCU has prided itself on a constant forward momentum, yet Marvel Studios now seems ready to rewind the clock dramatically. Disney isn't launching just another ensemble adventure, it's setting up a reset that drags the franchise back to the emotional core of Avengers. The reset comes right as Phase 6 begins. Fantastic Four kick things off. Next up is Spider-Man's fourth film, set before Doomsday. Brand New Day, of course. More isolated, mature Peter, shouldering responsibility alone. Tonal shift is already on display with Thunderbolts. Doctor Doom's arrival. Spans multiple realities. Visiting the Fantastic Four's world. The Fox-era X-Men's world and more. It sounds ominous or enormous. That's the point. Making one of its biggest Avengers films since Endgame. Reported set leak Scooper Unboxed PhD revealed that Marvel has rebuilt Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter's house, the one from Endgame's finale, on the Doomsday set in Windsor Great Park. While no photos have surfaced, the replica looks to be near match for the original. The details hint at something massive. Steve and Peggy's quiet life together may be more than just a happy ending. If Steve's timeline is revisited, it suggests his decision to stay in the past may have destabilized the multiverse. I talked about this last week. His choice to rewrite history could place him squarely in Doctor Doom's crosshairs. Seeing Peggy and Steve again would also hit fans emotionally. Chris Evans' farewell in 2019, and he is rumored to be in this, by the way, but multiverse storytelling thrives on unfinished business. Bringing them back reminds viewers that no story in the MCU is ever truly closed. Decision to revisit Endgame is more than nostalgia. It's a chance to reshape the future of the MCU by questioning one of its most iconic endings. If Doomsday reframes Steve's choice as a mistake with catastrophic consequences, Endgame may no longer feel like a conclusion. It could be the prologue to their darkest chapter yet. I love it. I see some people that was shown on some of these Marvel people's videos that I watch. And I think that's smart. Tie it back. And yeah, why wouldn't Steve's doing that and spending time with Peggy there? Why wouldn't that have caused some sort of incursion? Which could then involve the TVA, because they may have to go and fix that, and then could also be what kind of gets the whole Doom stuff going. I don't know. I think that's cool. I think that's a really cool way to do it. There was also a rumor that there was a feud or a fight that happened between Robert Downey Jr. and Ryan Reynolds on the set of the films, but TMZ is now denying it. So that was just a rumor, I suppose. All right, well, there you go. That is the MCU Minute for the week, and now we are going to get to the Dazzlers Lyric Challenge for a no prize. Dazzlers Lyric Challenge for a no prize. Now, I am going to see a concert. I haven't seen a concert at all this year. I usually get to like one or two, but I'm going to see a concert in October that I'm very excited for. I am not telling you who it is because I'm going to use a song from that person that I'm going to see and his band as my lyrical challenge for today. So this might be a tougher one because I'm not gonna do like what was gonna be like their biggest ever hit. I'm not gonna do that because I think it's too easy. But I'm gonna pick one that people would know. If you have ever listened to any metal, so there you go. I'll give you a hint. I'll tell you it's a metal band. And they were around, late 80s, early 90s, into the 2000s, still going today. Hence why I'm going to see it. But here you go. Dazzlers Lyric Challenge. Read by the host with the most. No more nightmares. I've seen them all. From the day I was born, they've haunted my every move. Every open hand's there to push and shove. No time for love. It doesn't matter. She made a difference. I guess she had a way of making every night seem bright as day. Now I walk in shadows, never see the light. She must have lied, 'cause she never said goodbye. So there is the lyrics from one of my favorite songs by that particular band, who I'm going to see in October, and I'm very, very excited about it. Never got to see them in my entire life, which is why I'm excited about it. And I will say this, if you were paying attention to some of the other pods, I may have mentioned it, but this is definitely one of my top 5 all-time favorite albums that I've ever listened to. So there you go. That is Dazzler's Lyric Challenge for the week. All right, guys, I am a proud member of the Snap Judgments League of podcasts. I already mentioned Glazer. Happy birthday again to him. If you see Glazer, wish him a happy birthday. I am playing in the Snap Judgments League, which you should really get in on if you get a chance to the next time they have it. It's a lot of fun, although I missed my first game. Poor Lux, no Lux Given was waiting patiently for me, and I just couldn't get a chance to do it between work and everything else going on. So I had to forfeit it, but I will be playing this week. Also, check out Snap on This, who I mentioned earlier in the pod. That is, of course, Lauren Whatevs, the host, Benjamin Roller, and It's Just Ree. They do a great job every single week on their pod. They just had KM Best on their pod. I'm jealous. I'm very jealous of that. I would love to have KM Best on my pod. That would be amazing. Maybe I'll talk to Lauren. I know him and Lauren are they talk now. They're good buddies. So maybe, friend of a friend thing. Maybe I can make that happen someday. That'd be really cool. I like KM Best. I think he's cool. And then, of course, Kier Nimbus. Now, again, I know Kier was taking a break. I did not see his pod pop up, so I'm guessing he's taking a break from Snap, which, everybody needs to take a break sometimes, and I totally, completely understand that. But go check out Kier's pod. It is out there. It's called the Infonaut Podcast. Show him some love. Great dude, and great short-form podcast, really easy listen. So go check all that out. And as far as me, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on my own Discord, Snap Decisions. You can find me in Snap Judgments Discord as well under Snap Decisions. You can also find me on Blue Sky. So if you have a question you would like me to answer for you, whether it be about comics, whether it be about Snap, whether it be about video games, whether it be about horror stuff, you heard I'm going to be doing that at some point. Whatever the case might be, whether it be about podcasting, I had people ask me about that, whether it be about superheroes, Marvel or DC, I don't care. Send me your questions, guys, and in any of those formats, it does not matter. You can send them over to me at any point in time. I love to hear from you. Also love to thank you to all those who responded to my Twitter post. I love that as well. I love the interaction. Please hit my YouTube channel up, Snap Decisions on YouTube, for the future when I have the guests on board again. I know a lot of people are excited, looking forward to that. I'll have a nice new format there that Jeff will create. Empower Media. Go check out Jeff. Jeff is awesome. Also, check out my friend, Elevate the Sky, who does my theme song. Gladly donated that theme song for me, which fits my podcast to a T. Check out my friend Elevate the Sky. He's doing some brand new music now. He's got an album coming out. Go check him out, please. And yeah, have a great week in Snap. Enjoy the last week of the season. I wish you all the luck in the world if you're trying to get to Infinite like me, or if you're just trying to get through the season, or if you're just trying to get the card in High Voltage. Guys, most of all, have fun. Don't emote spam. That's not cool. Have fun with the game. Stay safe. Be kind to one another always, and hopefully I will talk to you on the next episode of Snap Decisions. Have a great week, guys, and I will talk to you soon. This is your Snap DJ signing off.